welcome to the show. It's me, John Park, and this is John Park's Workshop. And I am excited about our project that we've got going. As you can tell, look around. I'm starting to get into the pre-Halloween spirit already. I know that may annoy some people, but I'm excited about it. So before we get started into the project, I wanted to take care of some little bits of business here. First of all, we've got the jobs.adafruit.com board for people to check out. And one thing I wanted to mention about jobs.adafruit.com is it is free to post your job positions that you're looking to hire for, and it's also free to post your resume up if you're looking for work. And check this out. We were mentioning last week the sort of merger between Sphero and Littlebits, and hey, look, there's some job opportunities that have opened up in both Boulder, Colorado, and in New York, and even possibly a telecommute position. So check that out. That's pretty interesting. Some Sphero/Littlebits stuff. It'll be really kind of interesting to see where things go with the two combining forces like that. Oh, good. Thanks, C. Grover, in our Discord chat said the audio levels are good. That's nice to hear. Let's see. What else? I also, you know what? I wanted to mention this, which is Adabox has currently about 85 subscriptions left. That's it. Of the 4,000, I think, that we started with, we got 85 slots left. If you want to subscribe, go ahead and do it now. That means that you will get this Adabox that has just started shipping, Adabox 13. And in fact, Adabox 13, I'm going to be doing a live unboxing on Wednesday, September 25th. So that's almost 2 weeks from now. So you've got time to subscribe and get this very Adabox. Only 85 slots left, so go ahead and do it. And if you subscribe, you are subscribing for 1 year to a quarterly subscription. You get charged after it ships per quarter. You can cancel at any time. But if you do subscribe now, that means you'll also get the holiday Adabox that'll be shipping in November, as well as a couple more after that. So go check out adabox.com if you want to subscribe. Or you can subscribe to someone else. You can send it as a gift. We'll take care of all the details for you. Makes for a nice gift. Let's see. So what else have we got? I've mentioned the job board. I wanted to also mention the coupon code for the day, which is Jujubes. Jujubes are a weird candy. Does anyone out there like Jujubes? I don't know that I dislike them, but I don't think I've had them in a long, long time. And I looked it up, and the name comes from a real fruit. Did you know that? Look it up. There's a jujube fruit, or jubie. Jujube? I think it's jujube fruit. I don't believe the candy's made from the fruit anymore, truth be told. But that's your coupon code, nevertheless. That'll get you 10% off in the Adafruit store today until midnight tonight, Eastern Standard Time. And you can get all kinds of great stuff. Stick it in the cart and you'll get 10% on the way out, other than gift certificate subscriptions and software. And, you know, speaking of products, how about a product of the week recommendation? I really, really like this guy, and I've probably mentioned it before, but this is the Terminal Block Feather Wing. And so if you are using feathers and feather wings on top of your feathers, you may find the Terminal Block Feather Wing to be useful. First of all, it's got a prototyping area there where you can build a small circuit of some kind, and then when you plug a feather into it with header pins. This is actually the assembled one. You can get it pre-assembled, or you can get one that's already soldered for you if you don't want to do that. You can see it's kind of a fun soldering project because you've got some header pins to put in there and a bunch of terminal blocks to put in there. You may hear hummingbirds flipping out because we've put out a feeder, and so now I've got hummingbirds chirping their heads off out there. They're my little friends, my coworkers. So with the terminal wing, or the terminal block feather wing, you can then attach other peripherals using these terminal blocks, which are more secure than just sticking wires into header pins. but not as permanent or as much of an investment in time and effort as soldering things. You can change your mind about stuff. But you can see here I've got a little set of NeoPixels plugged into ground and power and one of my output pins. And then here you can see I've used a little JST SH 3-pin connector. So if you're starting to use things like the 4-pin Quick/Stemma QT or the regular Stemma, full-sized ones, it's kind of a nice way to just snip an end, strip some wires, plug it in, and you can then start going into a whole bunch of different peripherals and things, buttons and lights and speakers. So that's my product recommendation for the week, is the Terminal Block Featherwing. I'm a big fan. All right, so let's now get into this. This is our MakeCode Minute. Hey, look, there's two of me. Let's throw a Chrome browser up here. Let's also throw one of these. Let's find a nice down shooter window and a little, how about a miniature me? There we go. And I'm going to move this a little bit closer. Thanks for putting up with the setup. All right, let's try to focus that. You can do it. Okay. So, you know what? I'm also going to drop my exposure on this camera because it'll be hard to see stuff otherwise. Okay. So for the MakeCode Minute today, what I wanted to do is show you how you can use the Circuit Playground Express as a color picker. And the way we're going to do this is that there's a light sensor on here, as well as a NeoPixel right next to the light sensor. And so inside of the MakeCode, we can use this ambient color block. If you look under inputs, you'll see there's this item called ambient color. And there's a whole lot going on under the hood of that block, because when we use it, what it'll do is, I've set this so that anytime I press the B button on the Circuit Playground Express, it's going to update this variable called color pick that I created with the ambient color. And it does this by flashing through the red, green, blue, and white of the NeoPixel, and then checking the reflection value, so it's getting different levels depending on the reflected light coming off of the object. Then what I do is I light up all of the other NeoPixels using that color that I've just chosen. So let's show this in action. Here's a good one to start with. So, let me move things here. What I have is a alligator clip that's red. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this near that little eye icon you see there. And it flashed and came up with, hey, that's red. So now let me try it with a yellow one. So I'll clear the lights with the A button. And now it picked yellow. I've got a green one on here. This is a little button cap of ours. Let's see if that works. Yeah, and it gets green. So it's really kind of a cool demo and a neat way to learn about RGB light and how you can use it to create your own color picker, not a color pickle, a color picker right inside of MakeCode running on the Circuit Playground Express. And that's your MakeCode Minute. All right, so now I really want a color pickle. That sounds fun. I'm going to check the chat because surely people are throwing up. I knew it. People are throwing up pickle icons. Look at the look at the maturity level of the Discord chat. I'll also say, if you're following the show for the first time, you may not know that while we're broadcasting on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook, a lot of the chat is going on our Discord server. So go check that out. Eggplant. Yeah, I wonder if we can do purple. I know some colors it doesn't seem to pick up very well. I had a hard time with like a pink object. All right, so let's see. What's next? Oh, how about this? How about we talk about the MakeCode Arcade Game of the Week. So let me bring up this one. So this is a game I found over on the forums. Whoops, that's not it. There it is. Let's do some window management here. There we are. That's too many of me. That ought to work, right? So there we go. So this is a game called Aliens, and this is by Shack Attack 8. And I'm going to jump over to inside of MakeCode. So you can see this has this really cute platformer game. It's got multiple levels in it. There's actually an end to it. So I know that someone in the MakeCode forum was commenting how cool it is to start seeing more games that people are creating for MakeCode that have multiple levels and an end game in it. I haven't beaten the game yet, but I think there's like 6 levels. So let's take a look at it in action. So we've got a little intro here that tells you you've got to use your slingshot and pick up rocks to fight these aliens. In fact, let me go to a large screen of that. So we've got some points that we can gain. I can shoot. I can jump, pick up some more rocks, so that now those are ones I can use to shoot. I'm going to jump over here. We got this kind of anti-gravity on this alien planet. Pick up another one, pick up a half a heart there. Let's try to shoot this guy. Uh-oh. Got him. And so that's the game, and it's got a really fun side-scrolling platformer style to it. And one thing I wanted to point out that I thought was really great about this, and one of the things that I really like a lot about MakeCode Arcade and the accessibility it has to all kinds of people to create games, is check out our main character. So the main character here is not your typical white protagonist, but it's a person of color. And I was thinking about this because last night we went and saw the John Leguizamo one-man show called Latin History for Morons, and one of the big points in the show is about inclusion and how important it is for people to see themselves in their heroes. And so I was really glad to see a game where someone has created a hero that probably looks more like them, or someone who watches and plays this game will see themselves in this. So I thought that was really nice, and I realized it's one of the great things about making game creation accessible to people is that you'll see the representation of more different kinds of people in the games. And so I know that's not a game tip, but I thought it was something important to mention and something I was really glad to see in the game. And on top of that, it's really fun to play. So please check it out. It's called Aliens by Shack Attack 8, and you can go to forum.makecode.com and find the link right there. So that is my MakeCode Arcade game of the week. And that'll bring us to our project build of the week. So for the project build of the week, I've been doing projects with our monster mask, and I decided to do a project where I take the monster mask and add it to our candy bucket. This is a pretty typical, as Lamore called it, that's a classic bucket right there. So I got a couple different kinds of candy buckets here that you could do this with. These are these sort of blow molded plastic, easy to modify, easy to cut into, come in different shapes. But this very classic bucket style one I thought was a great one to use for adding the monster mask to it. So what you'll see here is this is not our typical eyeball code that I have running on here. Instead, I'm using the GIF player. And so we've just started to convert over the Arcada GIF player that we have had running on the PyBadge, PyGamer, and PyPortal in the past, and now we have a version that's been tuned for Monster Mask. And so I'm writing a guide on this, and it'll hopefully we'll have a UF2 file that you can drag and drop right onto there, and then we'll have a folder where you can put in your GIFs and make it really easy. Or you can use it the way I'm using it right now, which is in Arduino. If you set up the Arduino IDE, you can adjust some parts of the code and then upload it to the board. And so the way this works right now is I've got 3 buttons across the top, and when I press the buttons, it's going to cycle between different GIF animations that I've put on here. So you'll see the first one that I've put on here is this orange background, and I've got the little sort of flames in the eyes of my happy jack-o'-lantern bucket here. And now I'm going to press that button again, and it'll switch to a different GIF. So we have, just like you may have seen in the GIF players before, such as like the Keanu Reeves GIF playback device I built on the PyGamer, we have a folder full of GIFs, and we also have settings for how long it loops the GIFs, as well as, in this case, we've got the button that allows you to advance. Same with the other players. So here you can see I've got one with a black background, and then we'll cycle back to the orange background the next time we hit the button. So I'm going to write a guide on how to do some of the assembly part of it. It's actually really straightforward, as you can tell. You could use Velcro, you could use some double stick tape. I decided to use some of these nylon standoffs. Let me, in fact, hop over to the workbench here, and I'll show you what that setup looks like. So one thing I noticed is that this bucket is tilted. So if you look here, it's not a straight wall. So in order to have the glasses not be tilted down and get them to sort of tilt forward or a little bit up, I use different sizes of nylon standoffs to attach that. Basically, you can start with, let me turn this one off for a second. You can start with your monster mask. There we go. And mark some holes. It's pretty straightforward. I went and used a Sharpie right here, added 2 holes, and then, or rather 2 marks, and then you can use something sharp like a very thin screwdriver, or I have one of these little double-ended awls, and here I can zoom in for you a bit. And what you'll do is you'll just simply, once those marks are there, poke through, and I ended up creating 4 holes here for the mask. It was actually easier to attach the bottom 2 to make sure I had those spacings proper, and then I went and marked for the other 2 that I was going to poke through. And then I attached some of these nylon standoffs. So these are 2.5 millimeter M2.5 rather, M2.5 screws with different sizes of standoffs and different sizes of screws, and we sell these as a little pack, which is pretty convenient because you get, I think, 4 different sizes of the standoffs, 3 sizes of screws, and a bunch of nuts. So I used those to attach this on here, and then really the only other things to be concerned with is power. So you can either use a LiPo battery, and you can see I've just taken one and used some double stick foam tape. I've plugged it in the side there, and now I've got a nice little 420 milliamp hour battery on there. That'll give you probably about, gosh, I want to say we'll probably get 3 hours or so of playback using that. And then if you were going for a longer trick-or-treating journey, you could potentially plug in the USB to a USB battery pack and just stick that in the bottom of the bucket. Now what you'll notice is it's a little hard to get to the USB port the way I have this configured. So what I did was I went in and just cut away the plastic a little bit out of the top, and I didn't cut all the way through it, so it basically looks untouched until you peel this back, and then we can plug in a USB cable from the top right into there. So that'll plug in. Oh, and I have a little extra flap of plastic in the way there. This was a fancier bucket than I intended. This one has LED blinking lights built into it, so that was used to cover up one of those sets of wires that runs to an LED. So now it's charging, and this also means that we can plug this into the computer to update the files if you wanted to change something about the timing or the brightness of the panels, or to put new GIF animations on there. And speaking of GIF animations, I wanted to show you another set that I just came up with, and so this was on the suggestions of the creative engineering team at Adafruit, and as well as Phil and Lamore. We had a meeting and we were talking about this, and the idea came up of including your candy preferences on your bucket. So here, when I let this start up, we've got a little, let me zoom in here, let that focus. All right, so we have bad candy, and then good candy. It's going to cycle through, and you can see we got malted milk balls on there. We got candy corn on there because I love those. There was jujubes. So it's running through it pretty quickly, but it's meant to be sort of the subliminal messaging to the people that you are requesting your candy of, or you could slow that timing down. And please don't yell at me in the comments if you love one of the candies that I marked as bad. I just had to make some choices, and really nobody wants mints, so don't put mints in there, people. Come on. So let's take a look. I want to show you how you can create GIFs to use on here. And there's a number of ways you can do this. Let's head over to the computer. First of all, you're going to want to make sure your GIFs are 240 by 240 pixels wide. And you can use different software to do this. I'm using Photoshop here. you could use an online GIF converter. I think we have, I'll link one in the guide, and we've linked one in a few of our guides before that we've used. I'm forgetting the URL for it. But the ways that you'll deal with the GIF are fairly similar from application to application, and Photoshop is a good way for me to illustrate it because I know it well. So here was the flaming eyes that we saw. Here's how I created those. So this is a set of layers over here on the right. Let me make that bigger, if I can make those layers a little bigger for you. See that? Yeah, it's a little better. So what I did was I created a background that's just pure orange, and then I created some different, let me turn these on, different triangles so that it would look like we're, oh, here we go, hide those. So I have some different triangles that are looking like slightly different lighting conditions, so it looks like it's blinking. So you can see as I flip through those layers, I'm just darkening or lightening these triangles, and then I created some gradations on it to give it a little sense of depth. And then the flames, I actually created just 4 frames here. So I went in with a couple of brushes with different colors, soft edge brushes and blurry edges to make a little flame, and then I used this tool here that's kind of a finger painting smudge tool. If you watch my flame, I'll zoom way up on it. So I just wanted to get some movement from frame to frame, so I went in with this tool here and did some of this kind of stuff. So you can see here if you want to make your flame look like it's splitting and leaping off. That's the kind of stuff I did, and just duplicated it multiple times to come up with these different variations on the flame. And then I went and exported this as a GIF. So inside of Photoshop, that's as simple as, let me find it, File, Export, Save for Web. Let's see, will you see that? You won't see that, okay. The important things here is that you can do full color. So I went 256 color, which is the full range on the GIF. And I've set the timing on this. So actually, let's see, you might see this instead. Let me go to the motion workplace here. Okay, so you can see with those different layers, all I'm doing is from frame to frame hiding and showing different layers. So I made it a loop, so I kind of showed frames 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 3, 2, 1. So it'll continuously loop between those different frames of the animation. And then let's see if I can show you my Finder here. I'll show you what this looks like on the board itself. So what I'll do, I'm going to plug in the monster mask. Right now the process for this, it's a little funny, but it should get easier. So let me do a screen share. Oh good, the yellow jackets are back. Go away. I'm going to get attacked here. I think he wants to build his nest. I thought they were gone. All right, he's just hanging out. If I get stung and go running, I hope you enjoyed the show. Oh, there he is. Get away from me. I wonder if it's my orange shirt that this guy is liking. Are you seeing this, or do I just look like a madman? All right, hopefully I don't get stung. So I'm going to share a desktop screen with you. So let's go ahead and do a screen capture. And this might be, yeah, we'll get into some black hole territory, but I'm going to go ahead and share the whole monitor so that you can see the different things that I bring up. So let me hide this off to the side. And if you look here, so here is in my Finder. Let's see, I'm going to double click on the, hello yellow jacket, or whatever you are, paper wasp. I think it's a paper wasp. I don't want him building a nest in here. Go away. So let's go to this view so you can see it better. So here's my mask M4 boot. So when we plug in the monster mask, double click reset, we get to the boot disk, the bootloader boot disk, in this case called mask M4 boot. So this will show us what UF2 is running on it. Currently, it's the Arduino file that I uploaded. But the way this works currently is I'm going to go ahead and grab a, let me make a new tab here. Inside of Adafruit, is that my projects? No. Inside of, let's put these by date modified, pumpkin eyes. I have the CircuitPython UF2 saved here. So the reason I'm using this is that when we load CircuitPython on, we can pretty much guarantee that we'll see a disk show up, a USB disk show up. This is where we can actually drop in our GIFs. So let me tear this off, and I'll take that UF2 and drag it onto the monster mask. So the monster mask is now going to reboot itself. It's going to try to become a keyboard because it can. And then we'll see we have a CircuitPython drive that shows up. Maybe I can zoom in here to make this a little easier for you to see. All right. So in the CircuitPython drive, what I've done is I've added a directory called GIFs. And if we look in here, I have my good candy and bad candy folders. So this is where we can drag a new GIF. So why don't we put this flaming eyes on here for fun. So I'll re-export that. Maybe we'll change something about it. How about we'll change the color of this. Okay, so it'll now be on this kind of reddish background. We'll fix that eye as well. Okay, so let's do file export out of Photoshop, save for web. That looks good. Hit save. In this pumpkin eyes folder, I'll just call it red eyes GIF. So now in my GIFs folder, that's the, I can hide Photoshop. That's the GIF folder on the monster mask, and here is my new GIF that I made. So I'll just drag that onto there. And now I'm going to double click the reset button on the monster mask again. That'll bring me back to the boot drive. And now, oh, this is going to be exciting because I haven't actually uploaded to it from Arduino on this computer. So hopefully I've got everything configured the way we'll need. We'll watch some other files open up first. Yeah, Feather E-Ink, good. And another one. I don't want a new version right now. All right, so under Arduino, let's open up. Let's see, is that the one? M4 eyes? Oh, no, that's not. Let's see. Huh. I don't think I've saved it onto this one. All right, so pretend yeah, well, this won't be a good demo because I don't think we want to go through me downloading that. But pretend I had, you know, in fact, let's do it. Let's take a minute. All right, so what I'll do, in case you're trying to follow this along at home, what you'll end up doing is going to GitHub for Adafruit, and under I think it's under Arcada, examples, or is it a different, I think it's under a different one. Hold on. Let's just search for GIF. Arcada GIF decoder, yeah, okay. So under examples, Arcada animated GIFs, I will just, yeah, this is why I didn't have it saved, because I did it kind of this lazy way. I just looked at the raw code, copied it, and then back over in Arduino, we'll do a new Arduino sketch. Maybe. There we go. Hide that one. And then into here, I'll paste that code. And I think everything on here, the defaults are fine. This is actually one place that we can change the display time in seconds. I'll leave that alone. And then in Arduino's tools, I need to pick my monster mask. So let's find, where are you, monster mask? All right, why aren't you showing up? I'm probably looking at it and missing it. This is the beauty of a live demo. All right, let's go to the board manager. Yeah, I'm not seeing it there. Let's look for Adafruit SAM boards. And I'll update that. Yeah, is that not? Wow, yeah, I'm way off. Okay, so let's update. I thought I was sharing this between them, but I'll just try this. It could end up that I've got a bunch of libraries to update that I don't want to make you sit through watching, but this is the reality of getting all these little bits and pieces into place. Once you have them, it's not bad, and we're going to actually release a UF2 so you don't have to go through any of this. You can simply load it up and drag it on from the bootloader. And I think that the Monster Mask will show up as a USB drive as well once we have that worked out. All right, yeah, I'll check the chat and see any questions. Oh, someone suggests, thanks Andy Calloway, suggesting I get a Venus flytrap in here to eat the bug. Yeah, thanks, Mr. Certainly. When I first had this problem a month ago with the paper wasps, other people on conference calls I was in thought I was just like losing my mind, dodging imaginary things. All right, installation completed. Let's see. All right, we'll give this one try. Tools, board, monster mask. There it is. Let's see if it'll compile. I think it'll ask me to save that. Yeah, which makes me think I should have had this saved somewhere. I don't know why I didn't. Maybe I just named it funny. Pumpkin GIF 2. How about? Yeah, I have a shared directory where most of my libraries and things are. But for some reason, it seems like the board definition wasn't shared. All right, that's a good sign. It got done and compiled. OK, so I'm going to go into Arduino's tools. I don't think you're seeing this part, but this is me picking overclock speed of 180 megahertz. All of these details are in the guide for doing animated GIFs in Arcada. And I'm also picking tiny USB as the USB stack, which is important. And oh boy, we've got a bunch of, I'm going to unplug my camera switcher so that we don't accidentally try to upload to that. Because this is always fun trying to pick the right USB port to upload to. All right, USB modem, there we go. So I'm uploading there, and I'm going to switch back here and see if we can look at the overhead. And what we should get, yeah, it did it. Unbelievable. OK, so now what we should get is both of our bad candy and good candy GIFs, as well as, hey, there's our flames with the new redder, pinker, orange that we have. So hopefully that's not too confusing, but those are the realities of really early beta versions of things. So that's how we're, oh, that's going to drive us crazy, isn't it? All right. Let me reset there. That's the reset button I've been talking about, by the way. Double click that there. All right, so hopefully that looks like a not too terrible of a process, and I'll be writing this up in a guide. And like I said, we'll have some easy ways to do it. But the content creation can be tricky depending on what you know about creating GIFs, but you can also find stuff out there and then use the online GIF converters to reformat things to 240 by 240 pixels. And currently we're playing the same GIF on both eyes. I think there may be an option for mirroring one on the second screen, and then I don't know if we'll go as far as having multiple GIFs. That might be a lot for the processor to decode those on the fly, but you can see it brings them on really fast off of the QSPI memory, so we can flip through GIFs like that. All right, so like I always say, I'll hang out over in the Discord chat for a bit to say hey. If you want to see the, there's the suggestion of the the way I deal with my flying insect problem. And that is it for the show. I want to remind you that you can get 10% off in the store. Go to adafruit.com, fill your cart with cool stuff, and type in Jujubes at the end, and that'll get you a nice discount. All right, well, that is going to do it for the day. So thank you so much for tuning in, and go sign up for Adabox if you haven't. Adabox 13. It's going to have some really cool stuff in it, and I'll be doing the unboxing, like I said, on September 25th on Wednesday during the normal Ask an Engineer time. That is all. I thank you very much, and I will see you next time.